Good evening. I'm Patricia Vallone with a CTV News update. Well, the recent heat wave has had deadly consequences in Maryland. Our Katira Jones is standing by with the details.
The scorching hot temperatures that we experienced here in Maryland last week resulted in several deaths. The Maryland Department of Health reports 3 heat-related deaths from July 25th through July 31st. The report also shows that there are a total of 4 heat-related deaths this season. 2 were in Cecil County, 1 in Baltimore County, and 1 in Queen Anne County. Officials say emergency departments and urgent care rooms were the busiest on July 28th, receiving 114 complaints about heat-related illnesses. The report also shows that Baltimore County had a total of 92 emergency department and urgent care room complaints regarding heat-related illnesses. Baltimore City had a total of 62. Prince George's came in third with 58, and Montgomery had 44. Katira Jones, CTV News.
And 2 bodies are discovered about a mile apart in Clinton. One was found along a highway ramp Tuesday afternoon. It was located about 4:30 p.m. on the grassy area along the Woodyard Road ramp to southbound Branch Avenue. State police say the unidentified person was pronounced dead at the scene. The second body was found in the 7300 block of Alexander Ferry Road, not far from where the first one was discovered. Now, Prince George's police are handling that case and say the death is currently under investigation. A hit-and-run driver traveling the wrong way causes a fatal crash on the Beltway. That driver, facing multiple charges, has been identified as 23-year-old Jalen Hanner of Georgia. State police say he was driving southbound in the northbound lanes of Interstate 270 last night. And from there, he ended up on 495, where he crashed into 2 vehicles near Rockville Pike. State police say that he fled the scene, but the collision left 1 woman dead and 9 people injured. The Prince George's School District makes changes to its clear backpack policy and security enhancement plan. The school district will now only require 9th through 12th graders and students at non-traditional programs to use clear backpacks. Now, Superintendent Millard House says PGCPS is working with vendors to provide high schoolers with clear backpacks by the first day of school. House also says that the school system security enhancement plan will have a phased-in approach. That means only a small group of high schools will have metal detectors when classes start up again on August 28th.
This equipment is being shipped in from out of the country. So we're starting off with an equity approach where we're looking at different areas of our county. So we're not going to one particular area in the community or one particular area in the county. We're focusing on 4 or 5 different areas in the county.
And officials say the clear backpack policy will be optional for middle school students. A new school year is right around the corner, and it's time to get your kids up to date on their immunizations. Governor Wes Moore has proclaimed August as Immunization Awareness Month in Maryland, and he's joining the health department in its social media campaign, urging parents and guardians to have their children's vaccinations updated.
Vaccination prevents serious illness and diseases, and they're safe and well tested. Vaccines also protect those who are immunocompromised or too young to get vaccinated. Talk to your family doctor about getting back on track with vaccines for your child. Community pharmacists are also able to vaccinate family members age 11 and over.
And this campaign will take place across all of the department's social media accounts. To find a local vaccination clinic near you, you can head to the website on your screen. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone. Coming up, finding out how growing and buying produce helps raise awareness for breast cancer patients. We'll have more details when we come back. Stay tuned.
Someone's looking radiant. Thank you. Just got my Real ID star. Look at me, destined for stardom. Actually, we're traveling to New York to see a show next month, and today I fly to Chicago to visit the grandkids. Really? I'm a Real ID, so I can fly to all 50 states, D.C., and the U.S. territories. And we just booked Christmas in Puerto Rico, too. We'll give everybody a big hug. I'll just be here.
Be your Real ID self by May 7th, 2025. Find out how at tsa.gov/RealID.
Welcome back. Well, a Prince George's Circuit Court judge faces misconduct charges. Charges against Judge April Ademiliye include showing bias toward criminal defendants, refusing to participate in training, and making disparaging comments about court staff and other judges. The accused judge countered in a written response that her behavior was due to a toxic work environment created when she unseated a popular incumbent. Now, the Maryland Commission on Judicial Disabilities will hold a public hearing on the charges, although a date has not yet been set. The cleanup continues days after devastating storms tore through the region. Bowie was one of the areas hit hard on Saturday. Dozens of trees were snapped and thousands across Prince George's lost power when power lines fell. The cleanup has kept companies like Kelly Tree Service in Waldorf busy around the clock. The company says even if your tree didn't fall, you may want to have it checked out if you suspect that it may have been weakened by the storm.
There's still tree damage. A lot of limbs are still hanging up in the trees that, could come down on somebody. So you want to make sure that you address all those issues and check the base of the trees, make sure there's not any rotten spots in them. And, people should take the time now to assess their trees around their property, as we go into the storm season. A poplar tree is much more brittle in a storm. So if you have a poplar tree close to your house, you may want to consider taking those down. All those types of things, to possibly be able to do the work before a storm comes and causes more problems.
And McConkey suggests you go to the state's Department of Natural Resources website to find a licensed tree expert near you. For that information, you can go to the website on your screen. Well, Marylanders like their marijuana, that according to state officials who say users dropped more than $87 million on cannabis during July, the first month of legal recreational sales in Maryland. That number was higher than first-month performances in other states like New Jersey, which sold about $24 million. Licensed growers in the Old Line State sold more than 19,000 pounds of weed last month. The Maryland Cannabis Administration says sales and use tax generated more than $4.5 million for state coffers. Two Maryland organizations are asking you to grow and give local produce to help breast cancer patients. Grow One, Give One is a campaign that began earlier in the summer. The campaign is led by Touch for Life and the Psi Epsilon Omega chapter of the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. The organizations hope to raise awareness for breast health equity for women of color.
As a breast cancer patient, what's really important is sustaining health. And food, and I know firsthand, having been a breast cancer survivor, really can help with the immune system, boost your energy, and help be a preventive measure when you're on a breast cancer journey.
That we were given to local food banks, and when we were able to collaborate with Touch for Life, we was like, wow, this is great. We could extend this project. And of course, this project helps us to also kind of minimize or help food insecurities right here in our local community.
When that first time you go out there and you see zucchini, tomatoes, squash, carrots, tomatoes, potatoes, I think corn even. It's so rewarding. You always think it's not going to grow, and then when you see it and then you taste it, I mean, you can't beat that feeling. It is a sense of joy.
And to grow or receive the local produce, you can visit touchforlife.org/befresh. Well, a suspect in a fatal family dispute in Capitol Heights is now in custody. 37-year-old Edward Gary has been arrested in South Carolina. He was wanted for fatally shooting a relative over the weekend. He allegedly shot his relative, Isaac Jenkins, on Saturday in the 8500 block of Ashwood Drive. Charged with first-degree murder, Gary awaits extradition back to Prince George's County. And you are watching CTV News. Coming up, your Wednesday Sports Page report with Simon Buggs. Stay with us.
Hey sports fans, I'm here in College Park for the UMD football team's Media Day. I'll have more on what head coach Mike Loxley touched on in the press conference in a bit. Stay right there.
Hi, I'm Susan Lucci. I never thought about heart disease.
until I had my own heart event. I had a 90% blockage in my main artery and a 75% blockage in the adjacent artery. I received 2 stents in my arteries, stents developed through research funded by the American Heart Association. Those stents saved my life. Learn more about the American Heart Association's life-saving work at helpheart.org.
Thanks for staying with us. Well, Largo Town Center is sold to an investment group for $70 million, a 59% markup for the current owner. Finmark Management purchased the 280,000 square foot property for $44 million 4 years ago. This fall, it'll be fully occupied with 35 retailers. It's located at 950 Largo Center Drive, across the street from the UMD Regional Hospital and Medical Center. The new owners, KPI Commercial, are based in Bethesda. Looking to save on back-to-school supplies, Comptroller Brooke Learman has announced the return of Maryland's tax-free week. The promotion runs from August 13th to the 19th and encourages Marylanders to shop and get a 6% sales tax break from local retailers. The exemption applies to clothing and shoes under $100 in value, as well as the first $40 of backpack sales, no matter how many items are in a transaction. While this annual tax break comes just in time for back-to-school shopping, anyone can take advantage of tax-free week.
All right, everybody, it's time for your Wednesday Sports Page. Football season is quickly approaching, and head football coach Mike Locksley spoke today ahead of the team's first day of fall training camp. Locksley is going into his 5th year as the head coach of the Terps football team, and he says that he feels good about the progress the team has shown during that span.
I came in with a 5-year plan, and part of that was to establish a culture and a foundation that would allow us to compete for Big Ten championships and realistically be able to compete. And so I'd say we're right on schedule. You know, the COVID year kind of throws a wrench into some things in terms of the development piece that we've tried to expedite with how we practice. But there's no doubt I feel like we're a program that's on track with where I wanted us to be in year 5. But you know what? It sounds good in the room, air-conditioned room on August 1st or whatever, August 2nd now, I guess. But the next 30 days we'll get a chance to see.
The Terps had multiple players transfer to the team during the offseason, specifically at the wide receiver position. And Coach Locksley talked about how glad he is to have them on the team.
The addition of guys like Caden Prather and Tyrese Chambers, one, the type of kids they are, and I use the term kids, they're young men, the type of young men that they are from a character standpoint. As I've said before, when we go into the portal and bring a guy in, it's really important for me that we know who we're bringing in and what we're getting. And both those guys have come in and have worked their tails off, have assimilated, even have taken on some leadership roles. I think Tyrese has a natural ability as a leader because everything he's gotten, he's had to earn and work for. And those are the types of stories that when he talks to the younger players in that room, you know, that's where I see his leadership showing up. But a really talented room, a lot of unknowns, but I say eerily similar to what the running back room looked like a year ago.
And that is your Wednesday Sports Page. From College Park, Simon Buggs, CTV Sports.
Thanks, Simon. And now let's get a quick check on your 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy, lows near 63. Tomorrow, partly sunny and a chance of thunderstorms with highs around 85. Friday, possible showers and storms with highs near 79. Saturday, bright and sunny and a high around 86. And now for your community calendar, grab a blanket and lawn chair. We are going to, for a family movie night, the county's police department's Fort Washington Division is hosting a screening of The Lion King. The move will hit the big screen this Friday, August 4th from 7:30 to 10 at the Fort Washington Division office. Admission and refreshments are free. And that wraps up our CTV News Update. Join us again tomorrow at 4:30. Have a great night.